Today we have the opportunity to speak to Ghana's former president, His Excellency John Kufuor. We have an opportunity to get to know him up close and personal, beyond how we have known him as a political figure in this country. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you for coming.
So you've been out of office for about 8 months now. What have you been doing?
Traveling around the world.
Oh.
Of course, not just for traveling sake. Undertaken assignments from the World Bank, World Food Program, the African Union, the Commonwealth, some foundation from Novity around Milan.
So it sounds like you've been busy. I would have thought that after 8 years of hectic work, you take a bit of a break and put your feet up.
I want to take a bit of a break, but I didn't want to just fall out of this thing altogether.
Okay.
Because people or the world would perhaps begin to forget me. So I needed to sort of break into retirement gradually.
Okay.
To do that, I needed to accept these invitations.
So tell me about your engagements, for instance, with the World Food Program. What is it?
Well, they invited me to accept to be a global ambassador against hunger. It's a huge title, global ambassador. And of course, who wants hunger? Especially on the continent of Africa.
When the new Patriotic Party government assumed power in January 2001, under the dynamic leadership of the president did not defeat the Kufuor, it was realized that the seat of government and presidency did not befit the worldwide high reputation Ghana has attained. As you are all no doubt aware, at independence in 1957, the new government inherited an office and a residency that was originally a trading post of our colonial masters. Not only was it a trading post for goods, but it was unfortunately also a trading post for human beings. No wonder it was referred to by some as the slave castle.
Fellow citizens and friends of Ghana, it must not be forgotten that the Osu Castle has not fulfilled and indeed can never provide such a center because it was physically and historically purpose-built as a slaving outpost. And indeed, it continues to bear the indelible scars and stigma of that inhuman trade of those times. Perhaps the question to ask in the case of Ghana is why, since independence, from President Nkrumah to current times, none of our leaders could make a home of the Osu Castle. The decision to construct a new seat of government, including a residence for the president, has generated a very robust debate in the country. Unfortunately, more often than not, the debate has been tainted with partisan sentiments. At no time has government overlooked the challenges that the critics have tended to overplay. Perhaps the history of how government took the decision to go ahead with the development will help calm any anxieties that might be lingering anywhere in the country. Nanano, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, soon after I assumed office in the year 2001, I took the initiative to launch several contacts within the community of development partners and friendly nations to try to raise the needed resources to meet this felt need of the nation. It was not till the 4th year that the government received an offer of a very soft-termed loan from the government of India, with a 50% grant element at an interest of just 1.75% and a repayment period of 25 years, including a moratorium of 5 years. It was an irresistible offer, which I considered God sent for Ghana. Accordingly, the nation must dedicate it to God and ask His blessings. A major attraction for deciding to use this site was the Flagstaff House, which President Nkrumah and his family moved into when he decided the castle was not suitable for the presidency. I am proud that this project has been extended to cover the restoration of the Flagstaff House, which is undoubtedly a heritage property. That part of the complex will henceforth be known as Nkrumah's Heritage House. The hope is that it will serve to enlighten our people about our first president and the history of the beginnings of our nationhood, and also of the pivotal role Ghana played in the freedom movement across the continent of Africa. Fellow citizens, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I should at this stage reiterate once more the nation's and my own gratitude to the government and people of India for the generosity of support given to Ghana in building this architecturally unique complex. Nananum, Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now my singular honor and pleasant duty to declare the Golden Jubilee House duly commissioned. May God bless this house and all of us.
About what you have been up to since you left office and your role as a political figure, but let's get to know you a little bit more, because we only know you as President Kufuor and very little about how you grew up. Tell us a bit about where you were born and the circumstances of your growth.
I was born in Kumasi on 8th December 1980. That's a long time ago.
Exactly, in my thoughts.
And I started schooling in Kumasi Government School, and then on to a boys' boarding school called Sage 2 Boys Boarding School. It's a Methodist school. I was just 10 miles out of Kumasi. And then from there to Prempeh College, where I passed out 58. Then went on to London, 1959, to study to become a barrister, for which I qualified in 1961. I was called to the bar in London, 61, at the age of 22.
Wow.
And then the same year, I went up to Oxford University to continue with law. But I did then, but it's not law I wanted to use in my life. I wanted to go directly into politics.
Why?
Because I saw politics as the field with the maximum scope to affect the development of society. That's where power really resides,
Sure.
to do good. Of course, some would use the same power to do evil, but for me, it was the power to do good, and I thought it was in politics, because that I could help shape the society of Ghana, and also to be of service to humanity.
Also said initially, once the ceremony begins, please, we have to behave, because it's Parliament. It ceases to be a square or parade ground.
Okay, let's talk about your leadership. Now that you mentioned leadership in Ghana, you were president for 8 years.
Yes.
When you came into power at the start, what for you was like your biggest challenge? Was it the economy or the state of our democracy?
Say, in a way, I had been fortunate to have been exposed to politics from a young age, and also served 2 terms in Parliament, and was a deputy opposition leader, secretary for local government, so forth and so on. So time I got to becoming president, I knew what I was coming in for. When I stepped into government, truly the economy was not in the best of shape. Well at all. Governance, yes, we had come into the 4th Republican era, which when you look at the constitution, must be multi-party democracy. But there were hitches here and there, so that too had caught my attention. There was stagnation, so the infrastructure had broken down, the roads, energy, so forth. So I looked to see how to begin, where to tackle first. And I saw that unless we got the macroeconomy fixed, nothing else would come in place. And to get that, I saw that we needed to tell the truth about ourselves openly. We shouldn't be ashamed. We shouldn't fight shy of letting the world know Ghana needed help. That's why we took the highly indebted poor country initiative.